This is LP Giobbi.
Listen up, children.
You are listening to Femme House Radio.
I said listen up, children.
On Diplo's Revolution, Sirius XM.
A wonderful night is made as much by the dancers as the music. Guided as much by the spirit of joy in the room as by the hand which reaches for the next record. Each of us has a role in tonight's experience. We all play in the band.
This is LP Giobbi, and I founded Femme House, a 501c3 foundation and educational platform that teaches the technical areas of music making for women, non-binary, trans, and other marginalized gender identities. Every week, I will be interviewing and spotlighting women in music while bringing you the best dance tunes from around the world.
I'm a massive fan of our next guest on Femme House Radio. TSHA is a London-based producer who has sprung out of the gate as one of the most exciting artists around, being named One to Watch by NME, Mixmag, Billboard, DJ Mag, Dancing Astronaut, Beatport, and BBC Radio 1, where she also recorded her debut BBC Essential mix, which is fire. She has been recognized and given props by Bonobo, Marabou State, Muramasa, George Fitzgerald, Pete Tong, and Annie Mac, to name a few. She has amassed 20 million streams across digital platforms, and I'm not even going to say she is a rising star because she is already a shining star. TSHA.
Oh, that's so cute. That was so cute.
I want guests to hear their intro because it's always very impressive, and you are impressive. So tell us your origin story. How did you get into producing dance music?
So I was a DJ. I started DJing when I dropped out of university because I didn't like that what I was doing there. So I started DJing, and I started off just DJing like birthday parties and really rubbish stuff and bars and stuff. And then because I really loved dance music since I was younger, because my older brother was a DJ and stuff, I decided that I wanted to make music and not just DJ it. And after going to some gigs and seeing Bonobo play live and having like some really great experiences, I was like, I want to be like that. So From there, I started working on learning music, really.
Amazing. It's so impressive that you're self-taught. I'm enamored with you. I'm in love with your productions. Your sound is so full in an almost band-like way. When you are in the studio, how much of the sounds you make are created through hardware gear and instruments versus in the box with software synths or samples?
I would say that it's a mix, really. Like, there's usually a couple of hardware synths in there, and then maybe a couple of software things, and then lots of like little sample things that I've found and collected over time to like make little. Like, I like to make things that tickle your ear and stuff like that, so I'll just use them as sprinkles throughout the song.
Oh, I love that.
So it's a mix.
I love that. And you're definitely also doing the ear sprinkle in your radio show, Jackfruit Radio. Yes. So I see that. I see a nod to that. Very cool. Okay, so what kind of synths do you use? Because they sound extremely vintagey, and if you tell me that they're not vintage synths, I'm going to like murder myself, because then how do you do that?
So I have like, they're not vintage. No, they're not vintage synths.
Are they software?
No, they're not software. Well, some are software. No, I'm not gonna lie, there is a lot of software in there, but it depends on which sound you're on about. I have a not in the studio here, but at home I have a Prophet 6, and then I've got a Poly D. I actually just bought the Poly D. I had the Model D before, you know, the Behringer, or how do you say it? Behringer or
I thought it was Behringer, but whatever.
Behringer. I always say Behringer. Behringer. Which is obviously like a replica of like the Moog.
Yeah.
So it just sounds like the Moog. And then I think what other Sibs I use. I've got because not everything's in this space. At home, I use the Behringer 303.
Obviously.
Hardware.
Do you like, is that kind of a go-to for you? I mean, you use it so differently in different tracks, which I love.
Well, it has been recently a go-to for me, and I enjoy working with it, and I've got really like, you know, used to working with it, so it's easier for me to just put it in things now, because I'm like, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
And I also like, I share with my partner has a modular setup, so sometimes I use that and use some of that.
Is this a romantic partner or like a studio partner?
Romantic partner.
Wait. Are you a creative couple? Like, is this person an artist as well?
Kind not yes and no. Like he's just started his artist project, but he's like he did other stuff before. Like he was like an MD and toured in bands and stuff like that. And then he's started his own project recently. But yeah.
Okay, what is that? Do you ever like work together or collab together? Or is that like what? Oh my gosh, I'm so curious as to what my partner is in the music industry, but on the industry side, very much so.
Yeah.
And like I kind of like, he's my A&R ears, like my Walmart ears, if you will. I'll be like, is this, like, is this track like a mainstream track or what, to see if he likes it. But other than that, like what, I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, one time he played tambourine on a track.
Aww.
Just to get him in there.
But
what is that? How is that? Do you talk about music all the time? Like, how do you?
Yeah, that's all we talk about. It's actually a bit weird. we're like always talking about music. Everything's about work and music. Yeah. But he actually like played the guitar and stuff because that's what he's originally is, a guitarist. But he used to be in bands.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
you are so lucky. That's fucking amazing. Good for y'all. I'm obsessed with creative couples. I used to like, this is so nerdy, but when I before I became an artist and was like in a real job sitting at a desk for 9 to 5 or whatever, I would go to this website called creativecouples.com.
What? There's a website for that?
I'm pretty sure it no longer exists, but at one time it did. And it would just be like, articles on couples who like work together or like created together in some way. And I would always be like, our most on it, aware, active 8 hours a day are like when we're at work, working for somebody else, most of us. And like to work with your partner to like give them like your best hours, your most on, like how cool, because like, or else you just come home and you're like exhausted from a long day of work and like it's hard to like really connect sometimes.
I don't know, man. Working with your partner is not that. It's not that good. It's like if you want arguments, that you work with your partner. It sounds fair. Sweet, but yeah, like why? Like we have an at-home setup, and this is why we have 2 separate studios, because so I have this studio, and then he works from home, and then sometimes we rotate. But mainly, I this is my studio, so mainly I'm here. But like if we're in the same space trying to work or whatever, that can get can get a bit argumentative and stuff. Yeah, so we spend enough time together, so
Do you play like ideas and demos for like notes and feedback from him?
Yeah, but he does the same as well. Yeah, we do play each other music and stuff, but if he says the wrong thing, then there's an argument as well. So.
I actually truly, man, I've gotten in so many arguments with my partner when I send him demos and he'll say something that like just really ticks me off, and I'll be like, just don't send me your music then.
It's like, just say it's good, and that's the from you, really. I'm not asking for any constructive feedback. Just tell me it's good, and tell me it's finished, and then I don't have to work on it anymore.
Oh my god, I love this. Oh man, amazing. Okay, so tell me what it was like to play Printworks, because I'm playing Printworks in December and my butthole is already so goddamn tight. I'm so nervous. This is like my biggest dream venue ever. And
Are you playing Press Hall or the Dark Room?
The main hall.
Press Hall. Okay, yeah. That's going to be scary, but good. You're going to enjoy that.
Am I going to enjoy it, or am I going to be like, what we do is insanity? I'm going to get up there to be judged by so many people. I feel sick. Why do I do this? That's probably what I'll be thinking.
That's what I think. I think that even when I'm playing in front of like 5 people, like
I do too. You do?
I'm like the most anxious DJ ever. Like you can't speak to me before DJing because I'm that anxious. Like I feel sick to my stomach. Like I'm borderline shaking for a DJ. So I totally get that.
This is so awesome. Okay, do you know the artist Elohim?
Yeah.
Okay, so I interviewed her a few weeks ago. Oh, she's remarkable. Truly, I left that interview just like jaw on the floor, understanding completely why she has a cult fan base, because she is the truth. And anyways, she was telling me, like, she kind of freed me in this really cool way. She was like, before I play a show, I kind of disassociate, and it can get really scary, and she can throw up and things like that. So she's like, I kick everybody out of my dressing room. I cannot see another person, because then the added pressure of like having to like do the hang and like be and look happy and do, you know, it's just too much. So I finally just like put a boundary on it, and it's changed my world. And I was like, wait, you could just like tell people you can't hang before a show, like, and I tried it at my next set, and I'm like, this is the best thing ever.
Yes. Like, my manager, actually, we were talking about me getting a tour manager, just because of having someone that could be the on person for me. So like, because promoters and people want to speak to you and want to chat to you, and I'm like on edge, and I can't, and sometimes it might look like, I mean, I'm never rude, but it might look a bit rude to some people if I'm a bit like, because all I'm thinking about is my set. I'm not thinking about what everyone's trying to say to me. So like, sometimes it's good to have someone that can kind of like deflect, and they can be the person that's drinking the alcohol and talking to everybody and like distracting everybody and like being like, oh, this is gonna be good, and while you like shuffle off in the corner. Do you know what I mean?
That's so real. Oh my God, that's so true. Yes, because like that's when promoters want to come and meet you and like hang, and like I'm putting on like a song and dance. I feel like a monkey who's just like like
I'm
performing before the performing, and it's just when all I want to do is just like deep breathe.
But it's so exhausting, because what happens is, I don't know, for me, I'll be like that, be trying to be like friendly and say hi, and it's like, thank you so much for having me, and yes, excited, I love being here, oh yes, I will have a drink or whatever, like there's all that stuff, like yes, I have everything I need, cool, and then you get on, and then you're like, I'm shit myself, is my USB gonna work, do I have my spare USB, do I have my laptop in case both my USBs don't work, or what if the equipment don't work, can I check the equipment first, all this stuff, get on stage and you DJ, and the whole time you're like trying to be good and like happy, and you get into it, but then once it's over, I don't know about you, but for me, I'm like so fucking exhausted. I'm literally like all of a sudden, like I've been like drained, and I'm like, oh my God, like, because I've been being on all this time, anxious about the gig, doing the set, coming and then off, and my body suddenly goes, oh please, like, can we go home now, please?
Yes, you just explained that perfectly. You even put words to like things I couldn't have explained before, but as soon as I heard you say them, I'm like, yeah, that is how I feel. Like, yes, it's just like this, like, and crazy, and then this crash, and I just, oh man, like, okay, so I played in Vegas on Saturday, and I didn't finish until like 3 a.m, and then I had all my gear, because I have a keyboard and a sampler when I play, and like, so I'm like having to like pack up this gear. My body is just like. And then the promoter was like, let's go get food. And like, I went and got food. And by the end of it, I'm sure this promoter thinks I'm a fucking asshole. I finally looked at him, and I was like, I have to get in a bed. Like, I am hitting a wall. And like, it just was, it was too much.
No, I get it. I always get, also then I get anxious about, you know, when you're in like a new place, like a city or a country or something, and then I feel bad because I really wanted to like go out and like explore and see it, but I'm so tired at the same time, and I've pushed myself many times to try and do that, and it's actually ended up making me like a bit unwell and stuff, because I've made myself stay up when I'm tired to try and like and then so now I've like tried to forgive myself and relieve myself from the guilt of not exploring this city or whatever, because I'm like, you're here to work, and you can come back for a holiday if you really like
totally
it.
That's because it feels like, you know, we're traveling, we're on an airplane, we're going to see a new city, so we should also take advantage, but actually we're here to work. And so if you deplete yourself by like going and doing like sightseeing stuff, you know, like you can't, but it's hard to like put a boundary around that, because you feel like, well, I'm here, you know, and I just like, I got
and
my
you can
trip
get
paid
FOMO as well.
Totally.
And if you like you see people like, we're going here, and you're like, I'm so fucking tired, but they're going there to have fun, and you're like, but I really want to go. And then you sit in a hotel room and you're knackered, and you're like, I should have gone, but I'm so tired.
Oh my God, it's so literally exactly what happened on Saturday. So Matt, I did a few shows. So to get the support from the NPRs of the world and the resident advisors of the world is so impressive to me, and really highlights how good you are at blending a spectrum of influences into your music. Only you can take an acid line, crank up the resonance, and still create a track that makes you feel like I'm floating in a dream. It's so cool. I would love to hear about a few of your influences and how they have shaped your unique sound.
I guess my main influence in the beginning, and still always will be, is Bonobo. I'm a massive fan. I loved his use of like real instruments with electronic stuff, and I loved how emotive his music was and how it made me feel. So he was always a big inspiration of like wanting to make stuff that really made people feel something and wasn't just something that people could dance to and stuff like that. And then I guess later on with things like the acid line and using those kind of that came in later because I'm quite a fan of like acid house. I just love the sound of the 303. So bringing that in, it was actually kind of an accident, really. I just tried it out, and now that kind of seems to be what I'm drawn to and what I feel comfortable with using.
I love that you have a very creative use of it. It always sounds very unique and fits right into the track you're making in a way that I'm like, how did she even think to do that? I love it. I cannot wait to be on a dance floor that you are DJing. What can we expect from your DJ sets?
An eclectic mix. I like a bit of everything, so I never play one genre or sound. Doesn't matter if it's a breakbeat tune or a disco tune or whatever. I just like go with the flow, and yeah, so it's definitely going to be an upbeat, eclectic mix of music.
Awesome. I cannot wait for that. Okay, this last question is a little bit headier, but what advice would you give your younger self?
I would tell myself that I can do anything if I just apply myself and stop getting in my own way.
Snaps to that. Well, with that, thank you so much for being a guest on Femme House Radio. I am a huge, huge fan of yours. You are truly an inspiration for my own work, and it's just an honor to interview you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. You're the loveliest interviewer, and I've had fun chatting to you.
LP Giobbi.
Listen up, children.
You are listening to Femme House Radio
I said listen up, children.
on Diplo's Revolution, Sirius XM.
A wonderful night is made as much by the dancers as the music. Guided as much by the spirit of joy in the room as by the hand which reaches for the next record. Each of us has a role in tonight's experience. We all play in the band.
This is LP Giobbi, and I founded Femme House, a 501c3 foundation and educational platform that teaches the technical areas of music making for women, non-binary, trans, and other marginalized gender identities. Every week, I will be interviewing and spotlighting women in music while bringing you the best dance tunes from around